All right, I want to give an update on Townstar, Gala games, and progress so far. It is January 29th, and we are about 6 days into the new, since the reset and the new season. I guess this is the new season for Townstar, and this is literally 5 days, 4 days, almost five. And this is what we have right now. So this is the kind of the setup that I have. Just want to go through some of the findings. I attempted to get some town coin. Apparently, and there's like 3 domains that you can purchase town coin if you don't get it from NFTs and from this the Gala Games site itself. The treasure chest. Uniswap is one of them, and I attempted to get that. That's apparently a People's Exchange. So when I looked, they didn't have any available. So that's one of the downfalls for these things is that in order to power up Gala Power, you have to have Gala Power, and then you have to have Town Coin, and it goes 2 times the Town Coin, your Gala Power times 2 of your Town Coin, and then it gives you that rating. So I did add some Gala coin to my account. However, I could not add and this is for the newcomers, the new people starting, trying to figure this out. So if you're attempting to make a lot of passive income on this, you really have to know how to do it and research. And I use Gemini. Gemini is one that I use. Uh, I could buy Gala on there, cannot purchase. And I looked at KuCoin. KuCoin's another site that I utilize. And if you can't get it on KuCoin, then chances of finding Towncoin in other domains is very rare. So, and then I looked on one of the sites that shows all the cryptos, and it's listed only about 3 different areas that you can purchase it. So with lessons learned, and we'll keep on looking for it. You know, maybe there's some more available on Uniswap now, and there's always gas fees. However, that was a few hours trying to figure out, and watching the videos, trying to figure out how to add the Gala to it and to my account, and for the transaction to go through. I did attempt it a few other times, so it's a pretty lengthy process. So you got to be careful when you do it. If the wallet's not correct, the number's not right, the keys aren't correct, then it may disappear. So long story short, I have Gala coin, but I did not get the town coin. And we are in 28 days left of this. It shows that I'm out of gas. I did go to the beach. I'm in Hawaii, like I said. And I did go to the beach today, so I left about 12 o'clock, I think 11:30, 12, and I got back about 5:36 almost. And I must have just run out of gas. That's why it says out of gas. Once you run out of gas, you have a script code. Regardless if you have fuel or not, it will always tell you that you are out of gas. So we're just going to tell this guy to stop making gas and make more petroleum. We have 35 gas. I have 1 crude oil. And I'm not too worried if I can make it 5 to 6 hours. And that was after this initial setup. The final setup so far. You can see I'm at 18 million and 1.1 million stars. And this is within 5 days, like I said. So it's pretty good. So the end of the last one before the reset, I was at 64. That was my high. So when I looked a few minutes ago, a couple hours ago, 7:41, yeah, about an hour ago, I was at 60. So I leveled up or went back to 62, 63, which I'm still ahead of 64, my last final one. And I only had, that was towards the end of it too, 64. So we made from 76 today all the way to 63, well 60, and now back to 63, which I'm not too worried, because if I sell the cakes like I'm selling them now, 4.76 cakes every hour, that means a couple hours I'll sell a cake. I'm at 7 right now, and within the next hour, I will be selling a cake, and that gives me quite a bit. So, and then I can sell. Right now he's at 15, so I don't have to mess with this guy. So this is for newcomers and old timers. Um, if you never figured this and you have some excess space and you always have your lumber yard. Some people might not have their lumber yard, but from the videos I watch, the people I see, they always have the lumber yard available. So he's making lumber, and I got my lumber mill guy right now. He's making lumber. So all they do, he sits there and he waits because there's no wood. So what happens is he waits for them to, since they're not going to put the wood in here, they go straight to him because he's part of their job, right? So the lumberjacks' jobs are to make sure that these windmills are all full of wood. So they're running back and forth all the time, making sure they're full of wood. And if they're not full of wood, then they put the wood in. And then at the end, they'll put the wood into the lumber yard. The primary mission, though, for them is the windmills, and then the secondary mission is, which I kind of like, is the lumber mill. So he gets the next one, and then they go into the lumber yard, which we're at 15. So they're not going to get wood into the lumber yard. And I have it set up to at 20, they sell automatically. So every 20, they sell 10, make some residual, money, town coin money for that. And I took out all my oil pumps. If you watch the one before, this is going to be a short one. These are going to be shorter, about 10 minutes or so in the future. The first one I did was about 40-some minutes. But this is almost to the ending. The hardest thing to do that you may find is finding your chickens and your cows, getting the right amount of milk, and not too many eggs and not too little eggs. So that is a battle in itself, trying to get the right amount of eggs. And yeah, I moved my chickens, I deleted some chickens, I pushed the chickens over here. I had a windmill that seemed to block them from time to time, get into the food, slow them down a bit. Here is, let's see, what changes did I do? So this, the cakeries, we'll go with the cakeries right now. This is the one making the cake. The reason she's turned around, is so she can go straight to the stores without having to go all the way to the roads. So she gets the max amount of, time. And this one is turned inward so that she's making a batter. And mostly the batters, they're making butter. They're making butter. I have 1, 2, 3 making butter right now. And then I have 4 making batter and 1 making cake. So I attempted to have 2 cakes and 3 batters, and then I had 3 butters. However, that did not work out too well. The problem was the same thing as before. They could not make enough, and it really added to. So I just shut this one down for a while. Shut down one of the cakes for a while. I believe it was this cake. I had the cakery up here, and then I realized he needed energy, or she needed energy, the chef. So I had to put them down here. So these are the power plants so that they can have energy for free if they're making cakes. So I don't have to worry about their energy levels, getting energy. They already have energy all the time, continuous. Right now, this was the one that was a cakery, and I converted it to a batter, just because when I came back from the beach, I had about 15 butters. So they're definitely making a lot of butter. Now we're back to 3, and that seems pretty good. So they're making, the biggest delay I see right now is the eggs. Before I had too many eggs, not enough milk. And then I had too much milk, not enough eggs. So like I said, the biggest hurdle is trying to find the right formula for these, because there is no set formulas. The windmills, you can set them up. The fields, you can set them up and try to figure them out the best you can without any big problems. But these right here, the chickens and the cows are easy. They go back and forth. But the chickens, they almost like jump the fence. So they're a real challenge. So I have feed mill. 1, 2, 3. You can count these, I know. Five feed mills right now. I used to have a windmill here. I took the windmill out. I put the feed mill in, and all of these were oil pumps initially beforehand because I needed the fuel. So I had the oil pumps going because I needed the fuel. And as you can see, she just threw the battery away because she doesn't need it. But she's running just so that this doesn't fill up too full, so that um, he can make his petroleum and put the petroleum in, and she can make the crude oil. And if she's got to dump some batteries, some energy, she can dump some energy, and he can make the petroleum, and it'll fill up petroleum to 40 or 39, close enough to 40. So I can convert it to gasoline, and then she'll be making, she'll be taking the crude oil and keeping the space so it's not too full. I did have it a few times where it was full of petroleum and could not convert any, could not get any crude oil, and she could not get any crude oil or make any batteries, so that was a kind of a challenge. Almost had to dump it, but luckily I had two fuel storages set up at that time. So down here, this is what I was using for the final production. And over here is where I put the worker bees, the builders where they can build. I had the builders down here, I took them out, and now I have ATVs, 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 ATVs. So really getting time down, figuring out how much time it takes to make the lumber, and having, for these ATVs, having enough energy batteries before you start the projects is always a good thing. The windmills, not so much. You just need wood. So if these are full of lumber and there's no wood, then they have to wait for the wood. So that's just a word of caution. The reason I put them over here is because I transferred the tractors down here, and I took up space over here in the wood mill because it's closer to the silo and it's out of the way of the fields, so that it won't cause any slowdown in production. This one has a little slow down salt field, which I actually like because they don't need that much salt. These were all salt at one time, and then they were making way too much salt. And now I still have to play around with a little bit of this, but not too much. So I had all these salts, but these are making salts at 20 seconds a piece, pretty much. 1 minute is the longest one. The first time I played it, I guess the land I had, no water, so it took about 7 minutes per salt field. So it took a long time for my salt, so I needed a lot more salt. This one I don't need as much salt because they take 20 seconds. That one's a minute, 11, 17 seconds, 20 seconds, about 3 seconds. So they can produce a lot of salt in little time. The wheat fields, I put them over here because they don't need to produce as much. This is kind of a slow spot because of the cows, the barns. So there's shadow, so it delays their production a little bit. And then the wheat fields, this is pretty much all wheat fields because they require, I have flour being made, and then in order to produce enough eggs and milk, there needs to be a lot of wheat in my garden. We're already at 13 minutes, so I'm at 8 cakes. So they made a cake within that amount of time of making this. So I did start calculating time and run out the numbers real quick. The first time before the blow up, and this is for people that are interested, because tracking the numbers really helps so that you don't have to figure out and guesstimate. And the biggest thing to do is patience and just watch things, because some things takes a few hours before they take effect. So if you change one thing, put this one to sleep, or change the silo to something else, or take out some crops, or add one thing, it will affect the whole thing, and it might take a couple hours for that effect to be seen. So that's patience. That's a good thing to have patience for this. And then having a tracker, you can gauge where you're at and where you were in the beginning, and how far you came and where you want to be. So I'll just run down the list real quick for, the people that want to know this. So you can track this, right? But the thing it doesn't show you is how much you had in the past. So you got to keep your own track record of that. So 4.78, if I'm looking at cakes 4.78, what I had today was 4.7 before, and my average of since we started was about 4.31. So with a high of 1.8 or a low of 1.82 and a high of 6. So 6, that might have been accurate, that might not have been accurate depending on when I did it. It was probably more like 2 or 3, but when I took the notes it was 6. So and then you have to add in when you're taking the track. So if you're tracking this for time, you don't want to do it when you make a big change or you do a change. You want to make sure that the change is set and do it like an hour after you change something, and then track your time, because otherwise there's going to be discrepancies. And if you're playing with it, changing things here and there and stopping things and and changing the outcome, it'll affect the time. So the biggest things are the cake, the butter, and the batter. Everything else is it kind of leads up to the cake. So the production. So the butter, the average was 17.84. The high was 30.4, and the low was 10. And then their most recent one was 30.04 for butter, and you can see 30.16. So, and the good thing about that is I can look, and is it going too deep? Is it going too much? I don't know. Looking at my record where I'm at 63 in the first couple of days, I don't think it's too big of a deal to keep track of where we are or where I am, because I can move up from 76 all the way into 60 within a day. So that's 17 spots, just from keeping track and changing things here and there. So we'll look at the top 10. So they made 70,000. I got this working. So the scripting, I had to reset the scripting for this and re-download it. Apparently my scripting had an error or something got deleted in it, so I re-downloaded it, and it seemed to work pretty well the second time when I input it. So 5 million, first place, they're obviously, they're not too far ahead, 7 million. A lot of times, see 33 million, that's the previous week winner. And from what I hear, they're not doing, are they doing the weeklies again? They might be. But first place will be like 20 million ahead of second place. So right now they're neck and neck. And I don't know if they're going to do conversion. I'm going to look into that, if I should convert mine into a grape. And I believe if you want to do that, it takes a lot of lumber, and might do that after you have enough funds to do it. So we'll see. But 5 million, 5 million, 4 million, and that's not bad. 3 million, I'm already at, the first time I played this, I was not even close to catching up to them. It took me all of 28 days just to get 1 million, pretty much. So we'll go back to the top 10 and scroll down to 3 million, 2 million. So the top 21, now it's 21, huh? So the top 20, oh shoots, it's showing the top 24 now. Before it was showing the top, I don't know why it's not showing 22. The first time I had the code in, it was only showing the top 20. So, oh wow, it's showing a lot more than that. 27 of them. So you can kind of track and see where you're at. See, this person made 24,000 in an hour. Last hour, 32,000, 10,000 last hour. So 1.6 million, that's 39. 1.5, 43, and I'm just looking at numbers. And I'm at 1.14. So I was at 906,000 this morning, the 29th, at 9 o'clock in the morning, Hawaii time. So I'm at 1.14 million, so roughly over 100,000, which let's go back to that and see. the top 10, how much they make in an hour. So, wow, it takes me all day to make 100,000 pretty much. 14,000. All right, so that's pretty much it. The batter, let's go back to the batter. So the batter is, my average was 11.18, and then this morning was 13.91. Now we're at 14.13. So when I got back, when I left, it was at 13.9 when I did all the changes, and then I set it and forget it. I deleted my last, I added these down here. I finished setting up and putting in the salt fields and transferring the windmill over here and getting the chicken coop, the 2 chicken coops side by side in the back and not to the side, because in the back it seems like they have a little bit farther to go. They can still reach it, but there's just enough of a delay for them. And I don't have to set up a secondary farm just for the chickens. That would be a pain where I'd have to get another space just for them. So yeah, I did run out of gas, and that's why it shows out of gas. But this is pretty much it in 4 days time, less than 4 days, 3 days about. I have this fully set up, and I was going to delete this second cakery. I just shut it off for a day, half a day, and just wanted to see how it was going to go. I almost shut these off, and if I do delete these, if I can speed it up somehow in the future, if I get ideas, brainstorms, I'll shut it down for a bit and see how the progress is, if it affects anything. But this is pretty much it. And it shows over here that the town coin is coming soon. From what my understanding is that Gala is working on their own space so that people don't have to use the Ethereum gas fees. So in the future, I don't know how far in the future, in the near future, hopefully, we can just transfer back and forth without having to pay all the excessive fees. Even transferring your treasure coin, your town coin, from the Gala universe requires quite a bit of a gas fee. So, like I said, I just want to get on here and show an update for people. If you're new, if you're not new, this seems to be pretty easy. I just learned this less than a month ago, and you can learn anything. See, I'm bumping down to 64, which this is kind of what it was like the last time I was playing before the town got blown up. A lot of, we're battling. I couldn't get past 68. Then I was stuck at 64. So, the bigger competitors are up in the 70s. So if you get to the 70 place, those are the ones that definitely have a nice system set up and go back and forth, back and forth. But I have one more cake to be made. So in 23 minutes, made 2 cakes. You can see over here on 2 cakes. So there's one more cake to be made, and we'll just see where they are. They got 2 more batter, and then we'll see. I'll stay on. We'll see how long that takes. So the batters, 2 more batters. Let's see where the batters are. 1 more flour, 2 flour, and 4 flour. See, that's the only thing. Oh, this one. How much flour? 2 flour. And that's one of the things. That's why I shut this one off, so that they could make more flour. And I have, if you want to look, sugar. I do have a chart on this that shows me where the flour is. This one is flour. Got 2 flour, 3 flour, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 flour. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 flour. So I could add another flour, apparently, possibly. My big flour, this should be flour. Yep, the flour is right next because I want them to get it before the ATVs get it, because ATVs, they don't mess around. They go straight in and get all the flour and then look at the silo. No flour, no flour. And that's, maybe I need just to delete one ATV, but that would slow down. Um, Instead of deleting them, because if we delete, the only thing I don't like about this, one thing maybe in the future they'll change, is instead of deleting this, you can just put it to sleep, turn it off. So that, because it costs lots of money and lots of time to delete it, and if it doesn't work, to re-put it in. So that's what I was thinking about. To test, you can't really test it. You can turn these off, but you can't turn these guys off, the lumberjacks. So you either have to delete them and see if it works, or just keep them. See, they're going to sleep. Apparently there's no work to be done, but there's plenty of trees. And he's at 19 lumber, so if he gets one more lumber from them, then you might be able to see where at 25 minutes. I hope they make it pretty soon. Still 2 batter. Oh, there's 1 batter. In that amount of time, 1 batter. So 2 cakes, another batter. So to expedite this, I'll show you how to expedite this. Stop this. So when the flower comes, because if the flower comes, she's going to take it. All right, she has a possibility of taking it. So the flower is going, there's, which one? Oh, yep, she's going to take it, see? And that's one way to do it, where you shut this one off. And then the competition goes down to a few, right? And then you can turn it back on. Just don't forget to turn it back on. I've done that quite a bit, where I forget that I've turned something off, and like this guy, lumber mill, next thing you know, he's got 20 freaking lumber in here. And it's full, and I don't have any wood. So we'll just, as soon as this ends, I'll turn it off. But 3 cakes, pretty much 3 cakes in less than 30 minutes. That's pretty good, huh? At 4.77 says an hour, so that's about right. And there's a batter, another batter that was just brought in. So even though, I mean, you get bug-eyed from doing this for a while, watching this, if you just watch this and you don't time it, you don't have a tracker, things can look a different way than they actually are. They can look like they're going slow. The tractors, ATVs aren't doing enough. They're not producing enough. The chickens, the cows are all not doing enough. The trackers on here on this side can show you something. And that's why I like numbers, because the numbers will tell you the truth. So we have our cake. Is she making it? Yep. See, she does. You don't even see her. That's how good she is. She just goes straight in to the store. And she's got 29 seconds, so we'll end on this as soon as she. And if you want to go to my website, Interconnected Creations, you can check out some of my other things. I got a digital realm on there with NFTs and crypto and different metaverses, links, ideas, information. There's also there's a digital realm. There's another realm. There's a few different sites to it. So if you want to check it out, it's got some links to it that might be able to help you out in the future. See how this goes. Bam, 10 cakes. See, it's on auto sale. This is the benefits of auto sale. Puts them on. This boat is actually faster than my depot. 9 seconds. When I had my depot, it was like 12 seconds. There's another batter. Ooh, 2 batters. So she's not only going to get, and she got the sugar just in time. So look at that, 9 seconds to deliver. So this depot, this pier, I should say, trade pier is faster than the depot, a lot faster. All right, so we'll see. 59, look at that. So I moved up 6 places to 59. That's why I don't worry. Initially I was worried because I was moving back the second time I was playing this, when I was 64. And of course my production time, I'll give you a quick list on that and then end it. So initially I had 3.53 cakes, and now I'm at 4.79, and that was my last time high with a ending of 64th place. and then the butter was 621. My butter right now is 30, and batter is 14. My batter for that game was 10. So I've improved productivity, and I only was producing 700 wheat. So with this extra row, I'm at, and what I have going on, I'm at over 1,000. So hopefully this helps. Good luck and stay tuned. God bless.